Before the video starts, just a quick announcement. We are doing a huge September giveaway. A couple games of World War II, Loot Crate box, some gamer subs, Xbox Live subscription, plus more. That's just to name a few. If you remember back in March, we had a huge giveaway. It was great. We gave away a gaming monitor, some games, some gamer subs, a lot of other things, and it was a big success. A lot of people got a lot of things. It was very enjoyable. But go follow us on Twitter. Go sub to our Twitch to make sure that you can win. More info about the giveaway and a full list of the prizes will be announced later. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Give it a thumbs up, and let's jump right into it. What's going on, everybody? King here, bringing you a little different video than what we usually do. Today I'll be taking the last 10 Call of Duties and I'll be ranking them in the order that I think, in my opinion, that they belong. So I'm going to start with what I think is the worst game, and I'm going to rank them from 10 all the way to what I think is the best game at number 1. This is probably an all-time debate that is never going to be solved because everybody always has a different experience with Call of Duty. They always have a different perspective with Call of Duty. What they look for in every Call of Duty, a play style to score streaks to maps to zombies and everything in between. This could differ from yours, and I'm sure it will. If it does, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about my rankings, and I want to know your guys' rankings also. Without anything else, let's get into it. So with number 10, I put Infinite Warfare. Just the overall gameplay is not fun to me. I can only play this game for like an hour at a time, where there are other Call of Duties that I could play for hours at a time, such as like 10 plus hours. It's really hard for me to have fun playing this game for a long period of time. It gets boring. It's hard for me to stay on this game that long. The weapons in the game aren't good. I'm not a huge fan of variants, so the variants that they have are not good for me. I'm not a fan of them. I don't like changing the core of Call of Duty, and variants kind of change that. You have the K-Bar, the MV4, and the ERAD, which are very overpowered in the game. It's hard to use other weapons and go up against those guns. The maps are okay, I guess. You have some good maps, and you have some pretty awful maps. The score streaks, though, are absolutely trash. I'm not a huge fan of any of the score streaks in this game. I look for score streaks in a game, and the score streaks in this game aren't good for me. So those are a couple things. Another thing, the campaign was pretty good in Infinite Warfare. The competitive is good. I like the parity and the competitive atmosphere right now, with not one team is dominating the whole game. There's a lot of parity in it. So that's another thing that is actually good about the game. Another thing I'm not a big fan is specialists. Even in we'll talk about Black Ops 3 later, but I wasn't a fan then, and these specialists are even worse than Black Ops 3. So with all that, that's why I ranked Infinite Warfare number 10. So number 9, I have Call of Duty Ghosts. Before going into the gameplay, Ghosts always will have a good spot in my heart for me, not the game itself, where I was at the time that the game came. This is really the time that I dove right into the Call of Duty community, where I was introduced to the Call of Duty community, and where I met a lot of really good friends, was during Ghost. Now, the overall game was a little frustrating. That's the word that I can use. There's campers everywhere, IEDs with thermal LMGs. So the game overall was just frustrating. The score streaks they had some good score streaks, the Chopper Gunner, the Battle Hind, things like that. The UAV was not really a UAV. I don't even remember what it's called, but it didn't help at all. The maps were the worst of all time. The campaign was solid, and competitive. It was average. I really didn't like Domination. I rather would have had, let's say, Hardpoint or something like that in the game. So those are the reasons I rank Ghost number 9. Number 8 is Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare, just like Ghosts, will hold a special place in my heart, and the reason why is because this is a Call of Duty that Demolition Gaming was formed in. So we competed in clan wars, and we really made a name for ourselves in Advanced Warfare. So that's the reason why it holds a good spot in my heart. The game, though, I played the game a lot for the reasons like clan wars and things like that. I played with Demolition Gaming a lot. So I played the game a lot. But this game was also frustrating. Not as frustrating as Ghost, but the connection issues in Advanced Warfare and the hit detection is what really, really like turns me off on this game. The weapons were so unbalanced. Probably the worst unbalancing in COD history. With the BAL and the ASM-1. Also, they had weapon variants. Wasn't a fan of that, just like I'm not a fan of it now. The maps were good. The DLC was overall good also. The score streaks were probably the worst score streaks of all time. I never ran score streaks. There was no point. The campaign was boring, to be honest, and there wasn't really any surprises in the campaign like there were in, let's say, the Modern Warfare games. The one thing that I did love about Advanced Warfare, this is really where I started watching competitive gaming also. The competitive scene was very, very fun to watch. It was energetic. You had FaZe and you had Optic going at each other pretty much every single time. And then out of nowhere, the COD champs was crazy. But this game, competitive, was really, really fun to watch. Ranking the game 8, I really think that's where it belongs, just because some of the deficiencies in it didn't meet up to the expectations of other Call of Duties. At number 7, I put Modern Warfare 3. The game was really fun, don't get me wrong, but the reason I put it at number 7 is because it was a little bit stale. It kind of was like Modern Warfare 2 remade on different maps. That's kind of what it seemed like to me. So, although it was a fun game, I thought it could be a little bit better. You had the weapons, the ACR, the MP7, both were beast weapons. The maps were really good. The score streaks were great, solid score streaks, just like just like Modern Warfare 2 they were. And the campaign, like all the Modern Warfares, was absolutely fantastic. But Modern Warfare 3, I thought kind of was like a redid Modern Warfare 2. So that's why I kind of put it at number 7. Number 6, I have World at War. But the reason I have it at number 6 is because I didn't play it enough to really get into the game itself. I did go back and play some for this video, and it was really fun. It was a really fun, simple Call of Duty. The weapons were good, but you had the unbalanced weapon of the MP40, which just melts. It's just a melt machine. That's what it is. So the weapon balance was okay outside of the MP40. The maps were it was a good mixture of maps, but the thing about it, there wasn't a lot of color in the maps. It made it a little bit difficult to see, but that wasn't like a big thing to me. The score streaks were simple: the spy plane, the artillery, and then the dogs. And the campaign was one of the best campaigns I've ever played. Being a history major, studying history, that's kind of my life is history. It was fun to play this game in the campaign and see all this stuff. It was very, very brutal, and it was really, really fun to play. You just got emotionally invested in the World at War. That's why I put World at War number 6. So back into my top 5. Number 5, I have Black Ops 1. The game overall was a fun Call of Duty. I have a lot of memories from it. It's very, very fun. The weapons in it, the Galil was unbelievable, obviously. But the balance was pretty good outside of the Galil. The map layouts were good maps. They were good, fun maps. And, the score streaks, the score streaks were good too. So it was a very, very solid Call of Duty. A lot of people think Black Ops 1 is the greatest ever, but I just don't. I think there are better Call of Duties ahead of it, not knocking Black Ops 1. But that's the reason I put it at number 5. At number 4, ironically, I put COD 4, Modern Warfare. Not Modern Warfare Remastered. I did play Modern Warfare Remastered. I think there's some differences in the game. So for this, I just used original COD 4. To me, COD 4 is like the godfather of Call of Duty for me. It's the first Call of Duty I played. It introduced score streaks, even though the score streaks were simple. The M16 gets a knock right now because of Modern Warfare Remastered, but the M16 wasn't that powerful. It was actually it was a good solid gun to use in COD 4, but it wasn't that overpowered. The maps have all-time classical maps, except for Shipment. I can't stand Shipment. But the reason I put it at number 4, it could have been higher for me, but I could not stand every 5 seconds getting hit by nades, and flashbangs. So that's kind of why it dropped for me. The campaign was unbelievable. Obviously, it's unbelievable. I love the campaign. When Modern Warfare Remastered came out, I replayed the campaign. It was that fun to me. At number 3, I went back and forth from number 2 and number 3, and finally I made up my mind. Number 3 to me is Modern Warfare 2. I'll get into why I went back and forth. Modern Warfare 2 was really a game changer for COD, with the weapons and the camos and the challenges and all these stuff that you could do within the game. That's why it was a great game. This is another game that you can grind. You can grind and you can grind. You can play 10 hours on it, and never get tired of this game. The score streaks were great. The maps were good. Terminal, obviously, is an all-time classic map. It came down to one-man army and death streaks, and that's why I put Modern Warfare 2 at number 3 instead of number 2. One-man army almost ruined the game for me, but then people stopped kind of using it, so it got better. And then the death streaks, I don't like giving someone something for sucking at the game because I killed them, and now it kind of evens up. I'm not a huge fan of that, so I didn't like the death streaks, and that's why I put Modern Warfare 2 at number 3. Number 2, a lot of people won't agree with me even having this in like the top 5, but Black Ops 3. I probably put more time into this game than any other Call of Duty that I've ever played. It's really fun to me. It never gets old. They keep adding new stuff into the games. You have a variety of a lot of things within the game. The colors are awesome. The game is just so fun to me, and that's why I still play it. The weapons in this game are probably the most balanced weapons in Call of Duty history. You could use any weapon in this game. You could go up against any other weapon, and you can win. Now, there's not like a weapon in here that is clearly head and shoulders above every other weapon. It's not like that. Every gun has a way to use the gun, and if you use the gun that right way, then you'll be successful in the game. Now, a lot of people don't like the jetpacks and things. The movement with this game and like Advanced Warfare and IW never really bothered me. Has no saying in the way that I rank these. The maps were great. The DLC was solid. There were a couple pretty bad DLC maps, but overall the DLC maps were pretty good. Did some remakes. The score streaks in this game are unbelievable. The Wraith, the Raps, and the GI unit. If you got those 3 in a game, it was over. You're dropping 50 kills no matter what game type it is, and 50 or more kills, depending on the game types. So that's what made this game really good. Another thing is I didn't really play the campaign. I thought the campaign was mediocre in Black Ops 3, but the competitive scene in this game was also great. I know Optic kind of dominated a lot of the season. It was still fun to watch. It was fun to watch all these teams fly at each other, very, very fast paced. It was fun to me. This game could be number 1 if it didn't have specialists in it. I don't like specialists. I don't like going up against somebody that I am better than, and they use a specialist and kill me on like a 20, 25, 27 streak. And that just makes me so mad. I actually just got my first nuclear last week because I keep dying to specialists, like 5 kills off my nuclear. So maybe that's the reason why I'm a little salty about the specialists, but that's the reason that I rank Black Ops 3 number 2 and not number 1, is because of the specialists, and the campaign was kind of mediocre. But overall, a great game. That's why I ranked it number 2. Now, number 1. My number 1 game in Call of Duty history is Black Ops 2. I still play the game. I literally play this game every single day. Still, it's like 5 years old, I think, and I still play this 5 or 6 years old, and I still play this game every single day. It's a long-term grind game for me. The weapons in the game, there's a lot of weapon variety and balance. Now there are some weapons in there, the M8 We all know the AN-44, the MSMC, the MP7 is pretty good. But I just named like a few weapons that you can use, so that means that there's a better balance than a lot of other Call of Duty games. The maps were fun, just classic 3-lane Treyarch system. The DLC was great. The score streaks are literally the greatest of all time in Call of Duty. The VSAT, the dogs, the swarm. The swarm is the best score streak in Call of Duty history. You could say the AC-130. The AC-130 was really good, but I think the swarm really just outdoes every other score streak in every other Call of Duty. It's hard to combat a swarm. So and dogs. If you get the dog swarm combination, it's over. The campaign was a little weird. It was a little weird, but I enjoyed the campaign. League play and the competitive scene in this game was unbelievable. Like I said, I play this game every single night. I play League play every night, even though that it's not kept up to date. It's still like technically preseason forever, but I still play it because it's that fun. I love competing against better players and things like that in League play. A lot of time went into Black Ops 2 for me. Not as much as Black Ops 3, but Black Ops 2 is my favorite game to play. So that's the reason I ranked it number 1. Is all those other things, the weapons, the maps, score streaks, League play. That's why it's number 1. That's my top 10, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like I said, if you disagree with me, let me know what your top 10 is. You could tweet at us. You could comment down below, and let us know what your top 10 is. I enjoyed making this video. I enjoyed going back and playing the last 10 Call of Duties. It was really fun to me, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Sub to us on Twitch. Go follow us on Twitter. And thanks for watching the video, guys. We appreciate all the support. I promise you we do, and we'll see you in the next video.